Hello and welcome. My name is Julie Dolan with WLKY, and I'm honored to once again be your MC for Maryhurst's annual fundraiser, the Week of Hope. This is the second year that we're coming to you virtually for a week-long online event that raises funds for Kentucky's oldest child welfare nonprofit. Last year, the community really came together and contributed more than $200,000 for a cause that is so important to so many of us, strengthening and empowering local children and families in great need. Many of the youth that Maryhurst serves are survivors of abuse. Others are facing crisis or conflict. Maryhurst's mix of counseling, education, resources, and well-being services works toward achieving a Louisville that is free from abuse and filled with hope for every child and every family. The Week of Hope would not be possible without its presenting sponsors, Churchill Downs and the LG&E Foundation, along with the rest of our sponsors pictured here. Each of these organizations have made a commitment to help kids and families in the region, and we are so appreciative of their support. Throughout this week, from June 7th through the 11th, you're invited to join us as Maryhurst shares inspiring stories from young people and families who've endured a difficult set of circumstances and are preparing to move boldly into a reopened post-pandemic world. Along the way, Maryhurst counselors, therapists, and support staff have been there to make sure that they have the resources they need to thrive. To kick off the week and to preview some of what you can expect this year, I am now joined by Maryhurst CEO Paula Garner. Hi, Paula.
Good morning.
This is so exciting.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here.
Happy to have you. All right, so can you explain to us what the Week of Hope is and how it works?
Yes, so our Week of Hope is really Maryhurst's biggest giving moment of the year. It is a time when we're going to be able to highlight the incredible work that our staff are doing, as well as feature some of the accomplishments of our children and our families. So it is not a virtual gala or a Zoom event where folks need to join at a particular moment, but it is a week-long peer-to-peer fundraising event. So you can go onto maryhurst.org/hope, and we will have stories for you to participate in as well as donate. What would be really helpful for us is if you could set up a personal fundraising page, invite your family and friends to participate in your goal, and complete that. If you've ever participated in Give for Good Louisville, it is a very similar platform.
Okay, so you're making it very simple to give.
Yes.
You know, a lot of your longtime donors know all the great work that Maryhurst does, but for anybody new joining us, tell us why it's so important to give to Maryhurst.
So that is a really good question, because there are so many nonprofits in the area that are doing good work. And what I will say about Maryhurst is that we are going to always be there for children and families who maybe feel like they've been turned away or forgotten. Folks who feel like they don't have any other options. When our children come to us, they often have struggled with trauma. They've often struggled through a handful of programs, and really the next step for them is hospitalization or going out of state for care. But at Maryhurst, we believe in the individual worth of children and the resilience of families, and that's really the work that we've been doing for nearly 200 years, and then we're really committed to continuing to do that in the future.
It's so nice that you're able to keep them in Kentucky as well.
Yes, yes. It's so important really for their long-term success.
And it's been a year since we've last met. So tell us what's new for Maryhurst in 2021.
Yes, well, of course, this has been a crazy year, but it's been a pivotal year for Maryhurst. Most folks know us as for our residential campuses where girls come and live, they recover, and they prepare to go back into the community. And that work has absolutely continued this year, but I'm really excited to talk about a couple of our new programs, one that we've grown and one that we've launched. So first off is our aftercare services program. And that's something that we've really wanted to do for a long time, because there's an incredible need there. We work with our children as they're preparing to turn 18 to make sure that they have the tools and the skills that they need for independence. However, until recently, we've been limited in our ability to continue our support for them after they move into the community. So if you you can imagine moving into your own apartment and not having a support network to help you do the simple things like build a grocery list or do a budget. And that's the kind of thing that our aftercare services program does. We have an aftercare counselor who can meet with our young ladies and help them work through really just those early challenges of adulthood. And I will tell you, it makes all the difference in those children being able to thrive.
I can imagine. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and secondly, we have opened a new office for our renewal counseling services. And renewal counseling is a program where we provide behavioral health and wellness resources to boys, girls, adults, really people of all ages, as well as families. We can work with families who have conflict or maybe are struggling with a particular difficult circumstance at home or in school. And we just opened a new office in Shively. We opened it towards the end of 2020, and we've already seen hundreds of clients there. And I'm just thrilled about that and really being able to continue to be a resource for the South End.
Wow, fantastic work being done, even in a pandemic world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what can people expect for this year's Week of Hope?
Well, our theme this year is Courage, Go Forth. And we are going to highlight and feature the stories that really display the kinds of strength that we're all going to have as we move into this post-pandemic world. We're going to share a number of stories, but I'd love to be able to preview a couple of my favorites. So the first one is Cassie, and Cassie is a young lady who came to us and actually moved into her own apartment, graduated from high school during the pandemic, and she experienced homelessness as a child and a lot of instability in her family. When she came to us, she was really exhausted and really just didn't feel like, wasn't sure any program was going to stick it out with her. But she has worked really hard. And these days, our aftercare counselor meets with her frequently and has been a critical support for her as she's applied for college and started her very first job. So I'm very excited very excited about Cassie. You'll hear more about her. So our second story is Cedric. He is a 10-year-old who has who came to us through our renewal program, and he was living with his grandmother at the time and just really struggling in school. There was a lot of instability. He really had a hard time because of the loss of his father, and was actually almost expelled in that time. So he has worked really hard and really accomplished a lot. Actually, during NTI, he got all A's. He's a great kid, and he's one that loves music. He's passionate about music and wants to be a nurse. So those are a couple of our stories. You'll hear more about them and much more during our Week of Hope.
What a turnaround in these kids' lives. Love to hear that.
I know. It's so inspiring, the strength that they have.
And we're all really looking forward to checking everything out this week. So let's tell everyone watching, how can we help?
Yes, so the biggest way you can help is to go to maryhurst.org/hope and to set up a personal fundraising page. And what you can do is set a goal. You can invite your friends and families to participate, and that's really how we're going to multiply the impact for this week. But if you cannot donate, that is okay. Another really critical thing you can do for us is to interact and follow us on social media. So just interact with the content, share it, comment on it, like it. And again, that's a way to bring so many more people into the work that we're doing, because it really is going to take all of us to end the cycle of abuse in Kentucky.
Paula, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank all of you for joining us and supporting Maryhurst's Week of Hope.